Well, good day and welcome to episode 35 of The Driving Force, presented by the Louisiana Transportation Research Center. My name's Todd Blunt. I'm joined today by my friend, colleague, and co-host, Garrett Wheat.
Good afternoon.
We're so excited that you've chosen to join us today as we highlight the trailblazing people and the great projects that are driving change in Louisiana transportation. For the past 40 years, LTRC has merged the resources of state government and Louisiana universities to identify, develop, and implement new technology to enhance many critical aspects of the transportation system here in Louisiana and beyond. Today we are continuing with part 2 of a really fun series with Louisiana DOTD's Bridge Maintenance Group. On our last episode, we got an overview of this section's broad-ranging responsibilities, particular focus on bridge inspection across the state. Today, we shift our focus to structural bridge maintenance. And as we do, we are excited to again have a pair of guests joining us. Bridge Maintenance Administrator Haylye Brown is back for round 2, along with Bridge Maintenance Repair Engineer Bradley Mistich. Haylye and Bradley are going to take us behind the scenes of how their team works every day to repair, rehabilitate, and even replace Louisiana's extensive and diverse bridge inventory. So we'll take a quick break before we come back to get into this conversation with Haylye and Bradley. Welcome back to The Driving Force. We are thrilled to welcome DOTD Bridge Maintenance Administrator Haylye Brown back to the podcast, as well as Bridge Maintenance Engineer Bradley Mistich. We're really looking forward to this discussion, so we're going to jump right in. Haylye, you gave us your background on our previous episode, but Bradley, as you're here for the first time, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, where and what you studied, where your career has taken you over the years, up to your time in your current role.
I'm from Mandeville, Louisiana. I went to LSU and I studied civil engineering. Right out of college, I went into project management for a design-build construction company that did developments and big warehouses and such. I did that for a couple of years. Then I moved on. I came to the department in the bridge design section, where I was a designer for about 5 years. And then Haylye poached me over to bridge maintenance, where I started off in inspection, did that for 2.5 years, and then switched over to the maintenance side and bridge repair for the department.
Cool. How long have you been in your current position?
About 3 years.
Do you have any crazy stories about inspection too?
I think when I first started, the Bonnie Carey spillway, there was a big fire that occurred, where the 18-wheeler, the flammables went under the bridge onto the water and burned the underside of the girders. And at the time, I had just started in bridge maintenance, and I live in New Orleans, commute to Baton Rouge, so Haylye and David Miller at the time, who was the overall section head, they called me in the office and said, hey, this is on the Bonnie Carey spillway. Can you go check it out and give us your thoughts on your way home today? So that was my jumping in position in the inspection. It's like, whoa, I got to go do this, and I got to communicate to everyone, all the powers that be, what's going on out here, and should we open the interstate to everything?
And then sleep in your car that night.
Yeah.
Haylye, as we mentioned in the introduction, we're focused today on the structural bridge maintenance side of things. Can you share how this part of the quote-unquote Area 51 team fits into this overall operation? And specifically, how does this group interface with the bridge inspection group that we discussed with Stephanie last episode?
So the point of bridge inspection is to inspect for deficiencies and document any that might be affecting the capacity for the bridge to carry traffic safely. So when you have deficiencies reported, the next thing to do is to fix those deficiencies, and that's where bridge maintenance comes into. In our section, we assist the districts in design detail of repairs that they can do with their crews. If it's a little more complicated, then we'll assign our crews to it. Or if it's going to be too time-consuming, cost-prohibitive, or we're all too busy, then we select a contractor, letter bid, or emergency, depending on the severity of the situation.
All right, well, Bradley, why don't you give us an overview then of how your maintenance workforce is organized across the state, particularly how you and the others at DOTD headquarters here in Baton Rouge interact with those in the state's 9 district. So how do you manage such a large and like broadly dispersed workforce?
So I'm over 40 to 50 employees.
Okay.
They're broken into 4 main units where they have transportation operations managers. They're over two of those units with foremen that manage each unit on a day-to-day basis, where the TOMS, transportation operations managers, they manage both groups kind of on a broader scale, and then I'm above them, kind of just bothering them, reprioritizing them, calling them up, because they would rather just do their own work and not hear from me as much as possible. But no, we have good TOMs that can get our employees doing the work where it needs to be done and how it needs to be done. As far as working with the districts, that is probably the majority of what we do. Is that we get these inspections either from the districts or from headquarters out of using consultants. They come up with these defects on these bridges, and depending on the amount of workforce that a district might have, their expertise, what they're trying to tackle, and as far as all of their work that they have to do, they'll call us in either for our expertise on possible details, like Haylye was saying, if they haven't seen something before, because we've seen a lot in our the people in our section, our TOMs, everyone's seen a lot of different things that can occur. And then we'll assist them with either showing them how to do something, either that's a teaching thing, just communicating, or we'll actually go and bring our workforce out there and do the job, where the district will come and assist, and either we'll take the lead, they'll take the lead, and kind of it's a learning experience for all, how everyone's doing everything. We try to get everyone, all 9 districts, kind of on the same page with certain repairs, how we should be doing them, so we're not kind of doing 9 different things or 10 different things.
Makes sense.
And you want to make sure you're doing something that's going to actually solve the problem.
Right.
Unfortunately, you'll see where repairs are made and you're like, well, this actually didn't do anything. Call us next time.
Got a few of those around my house, maybe a little lower stakes. But
You mentioned like the 4 different groups. Is that separated by like specialty or just manpower?
Kind of a bit of both. So one of the groups is unique, and they're the underbridge inspection equipment operators.
Okay.
So they, if you ever see people hanging underneath a bridge on a platform or something, they're the operators that manage those big pieces of equipment. Then we have a water crew that they do all maintenance repairs on the water. We have a push boat captain with a boat and barges and a crane. We'll do fender repairs, movable bridge repairs, anything over water that can be accessible by that push boat and barge. That's what they do. As well as other stuff around the state, but that's their main priority. And then we have 2 pretty standard crews that their whole job, or their main priority, is to build new bridges. They build precast bridges. They work on a 8 days on, 6 days off schedule, so they're working Thursday through Thursday, through the weekends, through most holidays, 10-hour days, and they rotate those 2 crews. So you're only working on one project, but they rotate in and out, so we can keep a consistent workforce on a project, keep it moving, where we build approximately 1 span in a week and a half to 2 weeks per bridge. So depending on the span length, that's how long it takes us to tackle those projects.
And the spans are 20-foot spans, so you drive a new pile vent every 20 feet.
Yeah, it's an end-on construction where we have a crawler crane and we push the bridge out, and we can keep going. We've done up to a 180-foot bridge recently within the past year.
Can you mention some of the most common types of repairs y'all perform? And do you work on all the types of bridges in the state, whether it's concrete, steel, timber? And you mentioned movable already. Or is there some work that's kind of outsourced?
We work on pretty much every bridge in the state that's on system. Any type of bridge we're willing to go and get our feet wet. If we haven't worked on it, we will learn from somebody else, but we will work on it. The only operation that I would say that we don't do, and Haylye can correct me if I'm wrong, is heat straightening. We really don't try to mess with, because that's more of an art form. So that's when there's a bridge hit and you see the metal has bent in a certain way. If it's bent, if it hasn't bent too extreme, you can bring in some welders that have expertise in heat straightening that they can heat it up and it'll reform to its original
That's interesting.
structure.
They're
So-
not welders. They are heat straighteners, and don't confuse the two. So what they do is they apply heat in certain zones of a steel bridge girder while having. They don't jack it into place. They just put resistance.
Oh, okay.
So if the steel girder is bent out towards you, what they do is they heat it, and you would think that the resistance would push it back from your side, but no, it's on my side because the heat is naturally going to push it, but it doesn't want to go. You don't want it to come too far.
right.
And so,
Okay.
and they do series of V-shaped heat across the length of the girder to get it. And I've seen some amazing heat straightening work. We've had girders where most people would probably say would just replace the girder, and they're like, oh no, we can straighten that. And I swear sometimes it comes back straighter than when it was installed.
That's so interesting, man. Learn something
It's
new.
slow, and I've been assigned. So in my career out on the bridge maintenance side, I've had to go sit out with the heat straightener for 4 days and
Wow.
watch it because you need to learn this.
Yeah, you can't do it fast
You
either.
gotta go watch how
No.
this is done. So good experience. Bradley will get his day. Don't worry.
But as far as to answer your question about the stuff that we do, concrete patchwork, steel cover plating, joint repairs, bridge replacements, timber pile repairs, timber cap repair, splicing, replacing helper bents,
Floor beam replacement.
floor
That's
beam
a big project.
whole girder replacement in some cases that we've done recently, sheet pile driving, H pile driving, just all over the board, all
Yeah.
across the board, anything that needs to be done. We say yes, we don't usually say no.
Well, talk to us about some of the specialized operations that you and your team oversee, and what are some of the different pieces of equipment, tools that you use to access bridges in difficult to reach areas, wherever you want to go with that. Specialized operations.
So to start off, those underbridge equipment access vehicles,
Okay.
that's a whole group of ours, and we basically loan out these pieces of equipment to the districts, and they utilize them for inspection and maintenance operations,
Okay.
but we manage the actual pieces of equipment. Then we have 3 crawler cranes that we use, welding equipment, sandblasting pots, painting supplies. We're pretty specialized in our equipment because we kind of do spread shot and catch everything and try to do everything. So
We
know if
don't
there's-
sandblast anymore. That's illegal.
Or sorry,
We use we do use
Abrasive
abrasive blasting.
sandblasting's an easier term that people
That's the old
somewhat.
term. So I want to make sure.
We're tracking.
Because one of the districts was like, yeah, we're going to start sandblasting again, but they were actually talking about sandblasting. It had been so long they didn't even know, like, that's not a thing anymore.
I was going to just say blasting, but then you might have been like, what does that mean, blasting?
Abrasive
You blowing stuff up?
Yes.
I did learn on oil platforms, they can't use abrasive blasting. So they have like a 40,000 PSI and they just blast the paint off the water.
Whoa.
What about like the laser removal?
Oh, the laser ablation. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good in small areas.
Okay.
It would
Yeah.
take forever
To
to
do
do
Okay.
it across like an entire structure if you needed
Gotcha.
to paint.
So hard to
repair
reach areas and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Sure.
Is where that's used. And then we rent a lot of equipment and have expertise in the rented equipment.
What's the craziest piece of equipment you've ever had to get your hands on?
I would say the underbridge access equipment
Okay.
is pretty unique in that you're basically bringing yourself under a bridge, and when you actually think about what
What's supporting you?
what's supporting you and how it's working, and you're basically like cantilevered underneath something, and you feel secure when you're in it. But when you go through the training, you're like, there's a lot of things that need to go right, and thankfully now they have a lot of safeguards and
Yeah.
stops to where you can't get out of
Is
balance.
it essentially like a boom lift that just goes down and around?
Yeah, instead most things that you see are scissor lifts that are going up vertically, but this is going down and around. So it's very easy if it didn't have the safeguards to get you in a position where you could almost tip $1 million plus piece of equipment off of the side of a bridge. So yeah, that would be the piece of equipment that I was most like hesitant when I first started utilizing it. But then it's like a video game. Once you get the controls, it's pretty simple.
Okay.
I'd say I think most impressive, because we're very unique. What makes us unique is the water crew.
Okay.
I never thought, getting a civil engineering degree, that I would ever have to be well versed in USCG requirements, have a boat captain report to me. Now he reports directly to Bradley. And that's a unique operation.
Yeah.
And then we have a crane barge. So one of our crawler cranes is on a barge. So operating a crane on water, that's different
Yeah, I can
than
imagine.
just on land. You got to take into account the movement of water.
for
So
sure.
it's pretty unique. The whole water crew operation.
I definitely value our equipment operators and what they do.
Yeah.
A lot of trust in them.
Can they shut down water traffic, like a road
we're not
when you're doing
supposed
maintenance on a bridge?
So we usually have to work with the USCG on anytime we're going to impede marine traffic.
Sure.
Okay.
And of course, they don't ever want us to do that until one of the mariners takes out a bridge fender. Then all of a sudden, can y'all get in there to fix it? Now it's
The
okay
Coast
to
Guard
block
owns all
traffic.
waterways.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We're
Navigable
permitted to
waterways.
be. Yeah, we're permitted
Yeah.
to be over the navigable waterways.
Another interesting aspect of the bridge maintenance section responsibilities is overseeing the tunneling inspection program. So that's required by FHWA, but can you explain what that actually looks like in Louisiana?
So we currently have 2 tunnels in the state. We recently decommissioned our third tunnel, Bell Chase. So we have Harvey and Homa, both in District 02. I'm over the tunnel inspection program, and it's very similar to what y'all spoke on last week with Stephanie and the bridge inspection program. There's a federal requirement that we have to inspect these tunnels on a certain interval, which is every 2 years. Because we only have 2 tunnels, and there actually aren't a lot of tunnels in the entire country. A lot of that work is done by consultants, so we consult out, and I manage the consultant that does those routine inspections. But we have certified tunnel inspections, myself, Haylye, and a few of our in-house Section 51 bridge inspectors have that certification. So we'll go in and do the QC, QA inspections, and then the yearly Federal Highways Administrative
Their
tunnel.
inspection.
I guess it's the bridge manager, but he also oversees the tunnels. He'll come in and do his inspection, and we go out there with those inspections and answer any questions they have about how our tunnels are functioning.
Before we wrap up this part of the interview, is there anything else either of you would like to add? Like anything we didn't ask you about that you want to highlight for our listeners? Want to make sure that you don't leave anything that you would like to share unsaid.
I'd like to highlight the employees under me and the employees at the district level, because without them, the work that I have to do couldn't get done.
Yeah, totally.
I think we have great staff. We have a lot of people that have been there a long time and have seen a lot of the state and know our inventory very well. And they've definitely helped me out whenever there's issues that I haven't seen before. They're a good sounding board. Haylye's a good sounding board on. We come across an issue and we can all get in a room together or over, the phone with the districts, and we kind of just all say what we're thinking, and we come up with a game plan. And I think we always have really good solutions for solving our problems with our bridges throughout the state.
So I'll give a little tidbit on how this usually works. I'm like, like Lee Wallace and I, the DA of District 58, we get on the phone one day and we have this problem with the location where the project is just kind of hung up in red tape because it's a road transfer project, but the bridge in question is just, we're like, man, we can't, this thing's aged out. We have to shut it down. But it's a significant detour, and it's a big agriculture area.
Sure.
So they need use of the bridge during the season. And Lee and I are like, this looks super simple. It's like takes 8 minutes to build these bridges. We watched a YouTube video on building an acro bridge. Next thing you know, we're like, all right, we're going to do it. And so I signed my crew up, and he signs up his crew. And between 51 and 58, they built an acro bridge. So now, of course, maybe we, Oh, wait, now we can build acro bridges, so prepare yourselves. You may be seeing more of those out there.
What's
But
different or special about
it's
this?
it's like an end-on construction. It's kind of like a Lego piece set. A lot of people are familiar, if you had a military background, Bailey bridges. It's just a little different. A lot of contractors will use them as temporary detour bridges because they're quick to put out. And so that's what we put out there because we really needed to shut down the existing structure.
Yeah.
And the project was still a couple of years out from letting just because of the area it's in. It had a lot of environmental stuff.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Impact things that needed to be worked through. So, people were like, "Oh, we've never done that before." I'm like, it doesn't mean we can't do it, though.
Sure.
We can do this.
Cool.
If a contractor can do it, we can do it.
Yeah,
We just
innovate,
need the
right?
resources.
Problem solve.
Yeah. So Bradley I'm going to call him the state expert in acro right now.
I would not call myself that.
Take the win, man. Well, thank you both for being here with us today, telling us more about what your hardworking team is doing and why it matters so much to our state. Definitely speaking for all of our listeners when I say we're grateful for your willingness to take a few minutes out of your valuable time to shed some light on this. I've learned some things. I think Garrett's learned some things, and
Always.
I know our listeners will as well. Before we go, we'd like to have a little bit of fun with you. This has all been fun, but we're going to shift gears a little bit and move to a few final lightning round questions. Don't think too hard about these. Bradley, we're going to start with you, but Haylye, you're on the hook again today as well.
We got some more. So Bradley, it's a random Wednesday at the office. Lunchtime's approaching. Where's your go-to lunch order?
It's Rob's Express downtown. I think I've been gone there once a week at least for the past 10 years. Yep. And I get the same thing every time.
What do you get?
3 side plate broccoli salad chicken with a side of garlic paste.
Okay.
And a Coke Zero.
Coke Zero.
Don't mess with the good thing.
All right, awesome. I've been there before, a few times, being at headquarters. It's an easy place to get in and out of, too. As a fellow Tesla driver, what's your favorite thing about driving an EV? And is there anything you'd like to share about your experience or like some common misconceptions you've heard that you'd like to clear up?
I like that I'm able to plug it in at my house, and in the morning I can wake up and it's fully ready to go. And I do commute all the way from New Orleans, so it has made the self-driving function has made it a lot less stressful of a drive. I went from a car that didn't have cruise control because it was broken to lane keeping, and now the full self-driving, and every time it's just gotten a little bit easier and definitely not as frustrated in traffic anymore.
I feel that. Haylye, what's been your favorite travel destination outside of Louisiana, but limited to like the last few years?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a tough one. Because I've been to Ireland, which is very nice. But then I went to Newport, Rhode Island, and I don't know. I've been all over the U.S., but I think Newport, Rhode Island might take number one right now.
The bridges did it for you, huh?
The bridges? No, it was the Gilded Mansions,
right.
and it's like it's a beautiful coastline, and it's easy. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
You just have to go there. It's rocky cliffs, but not as like tall or high up as Maine.
Okay.
So easy to like get down to the water and.
Very cool. Never been to Rhode Island?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cape
Put it on the
Cod's
list.
very pretty too, and Maine is very pretty. But in recent history, I'm gonna go with Newport, Rhode Island.
All right.
What is the most unique or interesting pet you've ever had?
Well, I grew up with some 3-legged cats.
Which
I don't know. Gus came off the yard. He's pretty neurotic. Pekingese, fellow Pekingese. I've had 2 like blind Pekingese dogs. I don't know.
She's really into disabled animals.
Well, that was happenstance. But they're a fun breed.
Yeah.
Ruby and Magoo.
some unique names too. I like
Yeah, Gus, Ruby, Magoo, Buster. Yeah, all my dog names since I grew up with some birds. They were a pain.
What kind of birds?
Conures, but they only liked my mom.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's all I've had. Cats. I got Turks and Caicos. Those are my 2 cats.
That's great. Well, once again, thanks to to both of you for being here, for everything you've shared with us today. We're looking forward to continuing to explore many of the other aspects of bridge maintenance in our next few episodes. Never a dull moment with this group. We're looking forward to what comes next. We'll step away briefly before we return to wrap up today's episode. That's all we have for you on episode 35 of The Driving Force, presented by the Louisiana Transportation Research Center. You can learn more about what's happening at LTRC on a daily basis by visiting us online at ltrc.lsu.edu or on social media through Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can like, follow, and subscribe to our channels on each of these platforms. If you want to learn more about what Haylye and Bradley have told us today, we encourage you to visit the bridge maintenance page on the DOTD website. We'll provide a link to that site in today's show notes. We'll continue on our next episode exploring the different responsibilities that this group has. I'm going to welcome another very interesting guest. I think you'll look forward to that conversation. Until then, we are your hosts, Garrett Wheat and Todd Blunt, and we thank you so much again for joining us today. Drive safely out there.